What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Here's Good. We're coming at you from Tokyo.
Today we're going to show you all the noodles you need to eat on your next trip to Japan.
This place is kind of hard to find, but if you see the Baskin-Robbins near Shinjuku station, you go in those doors and then somehow make your way all the way up to the 7th floor.
Everything's hard to find, but once you get there, it's like, oh, this makes sense.
We had a little of a hard time finding this place, but it's in the My Lord building on the 7th floor, right next to Shinjuku station.
This place is super chill. It's nice and clean. There's a whole ramen counter and there's like 10 tables to sit at. You order at the kiosk first and then you give him your ticket and he seats you. He brings over your water. Everything you need is on the table. They also have aprons and hair ties for you to tie your hair back so that you don't get ramen all over your nice clothes.
So I decided to go with the vegan Tantanmen, which is not something I would normally order, but it had rave reviews online. There are so many onions. There's green onions, white onions, shaved onions, chopped onions. There's a heaping pile of, I think, fried garlic or burdock root. I added the egg. I know it's vegan, but I couldn't resist. There's chipped garlic, maybe some peanuts. Oh, there's also red onion. This is like an onion lover's dream. Oh, man.
Ooh. It's tantanmen, so it's a little bit thicker and it has like a brown sauce to it. Not as soupy as ramen would be. It looks like a soy minced meat because it's vegan. I'm so excited to know what that minced flavor is.
Oh, I didn't even see that down there.
Because tantanmen usually comes with minced pork. And obviously the egg's not vegan, but we had to add an egg because whenever an egg is available for 100 yen, you add it.
All right, I'm gonna go in for some of that broth first. Oh, it's so thick and creamy. Oh man, it is rich. It honestly is incredible. It tastes like a creamy peanut butter. The depth of flavor is incredible. There's garlic. I don't know how you make a vegan broth so fatty, oily, and flavorful. It's definitely peanut, but it doesn't taste like peanut butter, you know? The flavor is really good. Let's see how the noodles are. Oh my gosh. I'm going in. The onion adds like a little bit of spice to it. Oh man, those noodles are cooked absolutely incredibly. This is a perfect bowl of noodles. And because of that peanut butter fattiness and the spice, I'm not even missing the meat. Let's go ahead for some of that egg. The peanut butter and egg combination is a flavor I didn't know I needed. This bowl is the gift that keeps on giving. It's packed with veggies and vegan meats and nuts. Just incredible.
Wow. It's so green. I wonder what's on top. Do you know what that is? There's egg, there's shaved something, and there's Wagyu beef and matcha. It smells delicious. I'm so interested to know what this is on top, so I'm gonna taste this first, just like that. Oh, it's so light. It's just like a cream foam on top. Probably to make it like a matcha latte ramen. That's so cool. Look at these noodles, nice and thin. I love a thin, straight noodle. Those are my favorite.
Look at that.
It looks amazing.
It's incredible.
Oh my gosh, it smells so good when you get into that hot soup. Wow. The matcha flavor is kind of on the end of your bite, but you get that like nice creamy matcha-ness to it, but you can still taste like the ramen broth. And the noodles are cooked amazingly.
The noodles are almost like a buckwheat, almost like a Chinese style, firm textured noodle. They just soak up all that sauce so well. They're actually some of my favorite noodles.
And look at this beef. It's been sitting there for a little bit, so the bottom's probably nice and cooked in there. Oh my goodness. I know it looks green because of the matcha, but it looks so good in real life. I've let the meat sit in the broth just a little bit so it cooks just a tiny bit. It's soft, it's meaty. It's like the best piece of roast beef that you could have. I can't wait for Brandon to try this. He's gonna freaking love it. There's only 2 pieces that come with it, but you can add more to it for 500 yen. And if I came back, I would definitely add more meat.
Oh my God. I can't even describe that. I just want it to sit on my tongue for an eternity. It's that good. Beefy and melt away tender. This is a high quality Wagyu, and I'm telling you, add more, if not double, when you come here, because that is the best bite that you can have.
Yo, the matcha ramen is something to be had. This is crazy. It's not my favorite ramen, but it's definitely worth a try. And when do you ever get to say that you've had a matcha bowl of ramen?
Another day, another bowl of noodles.
We are miserably hungover in search of the spiciest noodles we can find. We are headed to Shinjuku to go to MISOYA HACHIRO for some spicy miso ramen. So it looks like online, the vending machine outside that you order your ramen from actually has English subtitles. So it'll be our first time ordering from one that actually has the translation there for us. So it should be a little easier than the last couple times we've had to do this. Everyone is working like as a team to assemble the ramen bowls as they come out. This place is so cool. They're so efficient what they do, and they look like the biggest bowls of ramen I've ever seen. So Alyssa got Tsukemen, I got the spicy deluxe, and I asked for it as spicy as they can make it, a level 4. Whoa, the chashu looks incredible. There's a ground mincemeat, extra spicy red sauce, and this black chili garlic oil that looks a little bit intimidating. There's bean sprouts piled high, a beautiful egg, and a crown of seaweed around the bowl. This is gorgeous. The chashu might be the most tender chashu I've ever had in my entire life. The broth has a deep, spicy red, full of umami and sesame. Very rich, a little thick, not too spicy, so delicious. So these noodles are thicker than I'm used to, but that's because the broth is so rich, they need to stand up to it. They're bouncy and flavorful. This is a great bowl of ramen. I just think I maybe should have gotten a smaller size. I've been working on it as quickly as I can. I just cannot get through it. It's so big. The lower you go in the broth, the pepperier it gets, and it's still piping hot. It's like the hottest ramen I've ever had. It's amazing.
I'm struggling.
I feel like this could be like an eating challenge. I've made it to the finish line. Wow, that was one of the most difficult giant bowls of ramen to get through. It was absolutely delicious. Do not get the super deluxe because I was the only one in there with that humongous bowl, and there was people around me like legit patting me on the back and cheering me on as I finished it. The noodles stayed so hot the entire time. Most temperature hot bowl of noodles I've ever been given. Absolutely phenomenal. Get the spicy miso ramen here. Get extra chashu. Just do not get the extra large bowl. This place is amazing.
Next on the list is Hakata style ramen. Now most people will know Hakata ramen from Ichiran, but we're here to tell you when in Tokyo to go to FURYA ramen. There's never a line, they have spicier ramen, and the refills are free. There are 6 locations in Tokyo, and we ate at 4 of them. Our favorite type is the spicy garlic oil ramen. We add an egg, green onions, and bean sprouts to share. There are a variety of toppings on the table, and for my spicy lovers, do not miss the pickled mustard greens. This is my new favorite ramen topping. FURYA might be a little intimidating, but the staff are friendly, the vending machine has English, and the ramen is delicious. And like I said, free refills, and if you're brave enough, try to order your refill in Japanese. Sumimasen, kaimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu. Hakata ramen is so hard to find in the United States, even in big cities like San Francisco and New York, so do not miss a bowl at FURYA ramen on your next trip to Tokyo. We're headed to the next spot for noodles, which is Udon. The best place to find noodles is in a train station department store. We are here on the 13th floor of the Shibuya Scramble at TSURU-Tontan for these giant bowls of udon. The line is really long, so we have about an hour wait, but it's gonna be totally worth it because the bowl is as big as your head.
The Shibuya Scramble Foodie Hall is an amazing terrace with a ton of restaurants. There's a couple of floors, and both floors have amazing views of the Shibuya crossing and the Tokyo skyline. It is cannot miss. That is like a free perk of coming up here to eat lunch as well. And this restaurant, along with the others, also have that amazing view.
She asked us if the window seat was okay because a lot of people like to sit in the booths because the booths are so cool, and we said sure just because we waited so long in a line, but this is the coolest view ever. The window seat is definitely the way to go. As always, just click up here and click the English button. Giant bowl, right?
Yeah.
So this is the part where you can pick how big you want it because they don't charge extra for if you want more noodles, which is just so cool that you can decide if you want smaller or larger and it's the same price. You're good?
Yep.
Brandon got double portioned.
This place is just freaking incredible. The view is amazing. You can watch the people just scrambling below, the cars rushing by, trains are going, and the signs are changing. It's like complete madness. But up here, it is nice and serene. You cannot beat this view. I had no idea that we would be lucky enough to get a counter seat, but if you come, it's worth maybe requesting it because this is an opportunity you cannot miss.
Our first course has arrived. It is seared crunchy cucumbers. Not very spicy, but so flavorful.
Super refreshing, really crispy. The marinade is very light, delicate. What a great appetizer. Oh my gosh.
Look at this. This is gigantic.
This is the double portion. Never thought I would get an udon so large it could block the entire skyline of Tokyo. I'm starving, so I just want a sip of that luxurious broth first.
This camera is not doing it justice. This is the largest bowl I've ever seen in my entire life. I swear it's like the size of something that you would serve at Thanksgiving dinner. Like, this is for a family of 10. No chance you're eating this all.
Oh, I'm gonna kill it. I would have gotten a 3 portion, but Alyssa wouldn't let me. The broth is fatty, silky. It's like sukiyaki style. So there's a little bit of tart flavor, a ton of umami, dashi stock for sure. Oh my god, that's honestly, I thought this was kind of just going to be like a huge bowl. I didn't realize it was going to be this high quality. After that broth, I want to give this guy a go. Melt away, nice and firm texture, total beef flavor, full of umami. Man, this is just a fantastic bowl of noodles. And the noodles themselves, they're so slippery, they're hard to hold, but they're humongous and they have great toothy texture, and they actually soak up more of that broth than you would think. So satisfying.
Oh my gosh, it's so big.
Alyssa decided to get her own freaking onsen for a foot bath.
I thought it was going to be a small portion.
Wait, you clicked normal, right?
Yeah. This is huge. This is so pretty. Wow. So mine came with a very plain broth and these large noodles, and there's some stuff on the side that you can add into it. It has green onions, some grated ginger, and some sesame seeds, which I'm gonna pound up and pour in there. And then there's also a tempura sauce to go with the tempura. The noodles are so thick. Whoa. This tempura is great. Sweet potatoes in Japan just hit different. They're so, so good. Pumpkin in Japan is also one of my favorite things. This is a great lunch.
I honestly feel like I'm about to pass out. This is so much food. Don't even get the double portion, just get a single. It is now day 11.
Still working on his 2 portion.
Trying to eat the double udon.
I can't believe I did it. Brandon helped a bit, obviously, but what a win. I love the jacuzzi udon. The onsen udon, the dipping one, was more expensive by 400 yen than Brandon's beef, and there is so much beef in Brandon's. It's insane. 3,400 yen. Crazy. With this view, 25 bucks. The largest bowl I've ever seen in my life.
Udon TSURU-KOSHI. We found it in the Shinjuku station, which is like a madness maze. Now for the most intimidating part, ordering.
There's no vending machine at this restaurant and very little English on the menu, so it's one of the more difficult places that we've ordered. We just held up our fingers to let the chef know which lunch we wanted. Brandon got the number 3 plain udon, and I got the number 5 shrimp tempura. Then they prepare it for you in line, like right in front of you. You get to see them make your udon noodles, and you get to the self-serve tempura buffet, which you get to select your tempura veggies to accompany your noodles. This is like our favorite part. We love a buffet.
One of the main differences between soba and udon is going to be a much thicker, bouncier noodle than the soba, and it really is amazing. It's almost like the texture of a mochi. It's so bouncy when you eat it. I got mine as a dipping, which it was actually served with a hot broth. I was kind of anticipating it being cold. Udon is so slippery. It's kind of tough to eat. Like, my chopstick skills are just not that strong.
There's like different sized noodles. You can tell that they're totally handmade. So hot.
My broth is so salty and so porky. I added a bunch of green onions, some tempura flakes, and some ginger. What a great combination. Pork, soy sauce, and ginger are always a win in my book. There's like little bits of pork, ton of green onion, and like huge pieces too. And that onion flavor really comes through in the broth. Alyssa and I both love pumpkin tempura. I already started munching mine down. It's cooked absolutely perfectly. Alyssa's going for the mystery tempura.
I don't know what it is, but it's like a spicy herb. Oh, it's great. It's like tingly on my mouth.
That crunch is legit.
What is this? Does anybody know what this is?
I think that it's a chicory. Or
What's
maybe
a chicory?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's like a shiso or shio. I don't know. Oh, it is. It's like minty almost, but in like a prickly way. I don't even know how to describe that. This is a must. This is so good. I cannot believe it took us so long to get to the udon noodles.
Yeah.
It's like every time we eat something in Japan, we wish that we were eating it the entire time. There's so much variety of food. Even just, we're doing a noodle video, and the variety is spectacular.
This is so good. We still have no idea if it's allowed to be drank from the bowl, but we've seen a few people do it, so. We're also in the back corner, so no one can see us.
Also, in Japan, it's expected of you to clean up your area and return your plates neatly stacked to the dish area.
All right, so the winner for me was that giant green thing that I don't know what it is, but the udon was amazing, and both of those bowls with all the tempura that we could manage to put on our plate was $12. Okay, up next is Tsukemen, which is a dipping noodle ramen. The noodles and the broth are served separately. The noodles are super thick, similar to udon. They're chewy and dense, and they hold up to this equally thick broth, which is almost gravy-like and more condensed than ramen you may be used to. I believe the noodles are always served cold or at least room temperature, and the broth is served hot. We stumbled upon this restaurant because the standing sushi place we wanted to go to next door was closed.
We're actively working on a way to tell you what the name of this place is. Oh, store SEIMENJO.
There you go, now you have it.
You heard it here first, folks.
Once again, no English, so this should be fun ordering. We've been practicing, so Brandon did order his beers in Japanese.
Namabiru onegashimasu.
I got the spicy Tsukemen, which is made with fish and pork, I think, if Google Translate is correct. The bowl is 700 yen, plus 300 for the chashu, egg, bamboo shoots, and seaweed toppings. The noodles are cool, not cold, and the broth is really hot and thick. Perfect for dipping. It smells so good in here.
This is phenomenal. We got the spicy one. The spice comes through perfect. The noodles are thick and bouncy, but they hold the sauce really well. There's chunks of fatty pork belly in there that like just fall apart in your mouth. It's so tender. I've eaten a lot of ramen in my day. That might be the best ramen egg I've ever had. I'm not normally the biggest fan of Tsukemen, but this broth is perfect, and it's so hot that the cold noodles touch it and they immediately like get hot. And sometimes the broth can be a little too thick, but this is the perfect consistency. Really well done.
I'm so full.
That stuff is a big filler.
It's crazy to come out of like such a tranquil ramen spot, and now we're in the busyness of Tokyo. If you have not tried dipping ramen before, this is a must-do. So we were gonna film dinner today, but we just had the most amazing dipping noodles because it was so phenomenal. It is a place that I think that you should definitely go out of your way to try in Japan. Here it is.
This place is super quiet. There's a sign that says no talking, so we followed that. But this is a must add to your list of places to eat in Tokyo. It's like Tsukemen, so it's dipping soba with hot broth. I got the standard pork dipping soba with a huge chunk of chashu and hot sesame pork broth. All the soba that we've had so far has been cold, so this is such a nice switch up to hot broth. The noodles are freaking amazing. Soba is already a dipping noodle, but this broth is thicker and more complex than the regular salty soba cold broth. It's also served with more traditional ramen toppings. It's such a unique dish.
I got a deluxe set, which came with like chashu, chicken karaage, it came with veggies, green onions, and it was a cannot miss. The noodles were so stretchy and like so, like you could tell that they were handmade. They held the sauce was spicy. Like that is a crowd pleaser. I've never had soba like that in my entire life. It was phenomenal.
At the end of the meal, there's a carafe on the table to add a little bit more to your bowl if you want to keep the broth hot. This place is so cool.
Yo, so we weren't even supposed to film any of that. We were just going to dinner, the two of us, but that might be one of my favorite meals we've had in Japan. The Tsukesoba here in TAKADANOBABA is phenomenal. We're in the Shinjuku station, we think.
It's also only our second day, so we really have no idea what we're doing. but I think I'm ready.
So they have the fake food outside. Taking a photo. I'm gonna try and match the letters, the characters on here to the characters on the vending machine and hope that I order the right thing.
We can do this.
Looks like it. We might have a match.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Push a button within 60 seconds. I'm gonna go. Now what? Victory!
She thinks that she did it. Now to see what we ordered.
I just hope I got the crunchy. That's what we wanted. Yay! Doing great. So far, so good. So I got the hot soba noodles with a tempura crunch ball, and Brandon's the cold soba that you dip into the sauce. I'm so proud of us.
We killed it.
All right, let's eat. This is our first soba in Japan, so we don't really know what we're doing, but we always see this tempura soba bowl in the windows, so we decided to get it. It's just like vegetables all mashed up in tempura. Looks like tons of onions. I'm going. So salty. So good. It's just like crunchy onions dipped in soba noodle sauce. It's so good.
It's like even a different situation when the tempura starts to melt away and it makes the broth even better and it sticks to the noodles.
We also got a cold traditional soba with the broth on the side. It's ice cold. It's salty, a little nutty, and like a light dashi flavor. Onions and wasabi on the side.
I think you add these additions to your broth and kind of mix it in. This broth is intensely salty and it's also cold. I love wasabi, so I'll definitely put some of that in there.
And you know us, we'll add anything.
There's stuff on the table.
There's condiments, we'll add it.
Whoa. So bomb.
I'm digging the like standing up eating the little cubby situation. We're here with all these people from work, pretending like we're working people eating our cheap lunch. I love this.
I know that soba noodles look like a simple dish, but the layers of flavor, the depth of flavor is absolutely insane. You get like a little bit of seafood. The broth is really bomb, and the noodles are really well done too. They're sticky and they hold the broth like so well.
I just can't believe that this is a $3 plate for each of us. I love the hot tempura that's in there. Like, I'm a sucker for tempura, so I love the tempura. But I think I'm digging the cold noodles the most today.
Yeah, they are really refreshing. The broth is really intensely salty, so it's a little bit saltier than that hot broth. I like the addition of the scallions, the wasabi. Everything that we had was awesome. We got what we wanted, and this is like $6, I think.
Yeah.
Fine.
I'm gonna attempt to clean up. Wish me luck. It was a little intimidating at first, but I think taking a picture of the characters on the outside really helped with ordering. I am so surprised that we got what we wanted, but I still can't believe that it was $3.
This is one of the most popular chains in all of Japan, and the ladies are so nice. It kind of reminds me of like an old school diner.
I got the basic lunch set with soba noodles. Mine comes with shrimp, lotus root, pumpkin, and green beans. I'm Brandon got the veg version.
Mine comes with this mixed green with bonito flakes on it. That's slightly bitter and really fresh tasting. There's daikon radish as well as minced ginger. There's pumpkin, eggplant, there's potato, enoki mushrooms, green beans, there's lotus root. This is a dope lunch set.
Like we said, this is a popular chain in Tokyo, so you will see these every few blocks, and for the price and quality, it is 100% worth it. There's almost never a wait, and the food comes super quick. The tempura is good quality, and I love how much variety comes in the lunch sets. They specialize in tempura, but the cold soba tempura lunch set is my favorite. The tempura comes dry, unsauced, and stays crispy. The soba noodles are a perfect portion, they're very good texture, and have a great salty flavor. And for less than $6, it's a total budget traveler win. There's obviously better tempura and better soba around the city, but when you want something quick, easy, and not too much stress, we love TENYA. And we ate here multiple times during our trip. Okay, we have one bonus noodle to share with you, and we're here to tell you not to skip the Konbini noodles. We will have an entire Konbini video coming soon, so make sure to subscribe. There are so many good snacks that we have to share. This is the yakisoba from 7-Eleven. It is one of my favorite items. I would pick it up to bring back to the hotel at the end of a long day of walking, and it is so good. The noodles are chewy and firm. There's a massive amount of green onions, and there is so much black pepper. And it only takes 2 minutes in the microwave to get to the perfect heat and consistency. I love these noodles so freaking much.
I had no idea that the yakisoba from 7-Eleven was so peppery. It is like a black pepper bomb. I've never had anything like it.
This is my third time getting it. I love it so much.
If they had that at 7-Eleven in America, I don't know if I'd ever eat anything else.
Today we went to Family Mart to try out a creamy noodle, which we have not yet had. This is creamy bacon spinach pasta.
This is a new release. I want to see if I can crisp that bacon up in here.
Brandon's been missing Olive Garden, so he wanted some creamy pasta, so we got that. It kind of looks like Olive Garden.
Yeah, the sauce is really thin. The bacon looks incredible, and the noodles look really good, which I obviously assume that they wouldn't be in Japan. Thank you guys so much for watching this epic noodle tour in Tokyo.
Make sure to subscribe. There's a lot more of Japan coming soon.